I'm gonna screen share my computer so you guys can see what I do on Picmonkey, how it works, and I'm just gonna pull up one of the ads that I did personally and kind of show you how I recreate it and just kind of take you through a tour of it from the beginning to the end. And then if you guys have specific questions or if you've seen things and you want to know exactly how we did them, then we can ask questions at the end, okay? So let me go ahead and screen share. And then let me know if I lose you guys when I flip back and forth from tabs. So Lizzie, give me a thumbs up if you can see the Picmonkey website. Okay. All right. So this is going to be the first page that you guys are going to see when you go to Picmonkey. And then you have a couple options. You can edit, touch up, design, collage. In the beginning, I basically lived in the collage page because that was the easiest one to get used to. If you have just one particular picture that you want to pull up and you want to edit, that's when you just pull up one particular picture. So if I just pull up any in particular picture that I want to edit, I can pull up a picture of Shorty and it'll just be one picture. So then I can change the resolution, change the background, whatever I want to do to that one particular picture. So if I want to crop out and just have the middle of her, I can crop that out. I can change the exposure so I can make it brighter or highlight certain things, shadows, contrast, whatever I want to do. Then I can sharpen it, resize it. I can add text to it. So anytime I want to put text anywhere on the picture, you just add the little text box and then you can type right over whatever you want. And then there's so many great fonts. These are all anytime you see the little crown here, this is the royal one. That's why that's the paid version. So you definitely don't need them. If you like all the different fonts and some of the different features, then pay the extra money, upgrade your account to the royal feature. Over here, this is what you can do to all the text. So you can change the color of the font. One thing that I think is really cool, because I've started doing more things with the logo or different colors that I like to highlight in the background, or if I want to kind of have a color of my shirt be the same color as the text, I can go in here and press this little eyedropper, and then you can scroll over anything in the background or in the picture that you want the wording to be that color in particular. So that's really cool when you're trying to like step your game up and have it look a little bit more professional, okay? Then you can add into this picture any shapes, hearts, anything that you want. All of these different graphics on the side you can add in. Look under some of them. There's things in kind of surprising places that might be kind of cool to use. Like I end up using, arrows or stars in different places. There's a couple under like the postal one that I end up using, like a star one if I want to highlight, and then you can change that color as well. So there's a lot of things right within there. If you want to add anything, like I always add my logo or my watermark to my pictures, then you can just go up and search for whatever that you want to add to your picture if you want to add something else to it. So that's just kind of basics on the sides of it. There's also, so this is just with one particular picture. If you have a picture of yourself that you want to touch up a little bit, then you can definitely go and pick a picture of yourself. I don't think Juliana needs any touching up. Then you can go in, and this is kind of cool, but it's definitely what's also kind of messed up about Facebook, because you can look like a totally better version of yourself. So let's pick a picture of me. So I can go in, and underneath this was the same thing on the last page where I showed you can crop, canvas color, rotate, exposure, all those things which are really cool. It's fun to play around even just the exposure, because you can definitely change the feel of the picture, change the highlights, change the contrast, wash it out a little bit. so it gives it a totally different feel. When you start developing kind of a look for your Facebook page and a look for your brand, you know, some coaches, they'll do the same highlights and the same contrast to all their pictures, so it starts to develop the same kind of general feel. So that's a really cool option. The next one is all of your filters. So you can go through and add a filter to anything. There's a whole bunch of different ones. You can also layer filters, which I think is really cool. So if I want to do this one, and then I want to do like dark edges to it, it's cool to kind of layer filters on top of each other. If you want to undo anything, this little undo arrow is really cool. And then what every girl loves, there is the little lipstick, which is how you can come in, and if you want to fix any blemishes, I've got plenty. You can go in and fix whatever blemishes you want. There's some airbrushing where you can airbrush a little bit. Make sure you still look like a real person. You don't want to go too crazy with it. Some wrinkle remover, shine reduction, all this kind of stuff. Don't go too crazy in this, because we definitely want to make sure that we're being as real to ourselves as possible. You want to look like the person when they meet you in person. But, you know, if you're having a super rough day and you haven't showered, feel free to add a little bit of airbrushing, because I definitely have days where I look a little rougher than others. Same, you can always add text, add anything you want right over the picture. So if I pick just a filter that I want to darken up the edges, and then I want to add some text right over it, you can add a quote. You can copy and paste right from Google or wherever you have. Some sites don't let you copy and paste, but you can add the quote wherever you want. And again, you can change the color, change the font, whatever you want to kind of jazz up your picture. There's also frames where you can add a border to make it look more finished. But it's nice because you really have the options to completely start to separate yourself and step up your game, make your posts on Facebook look more professional. Most of our posts that we're doing throughout the day, there's so many great mobile apps that you can do the same stuff. Picmonkey is great when it's on your computer. It's not nearly as friendly when you're on your phone. I definitely don't recommend using it on your phone. There's way better apps for that. Then I wanted to show you guys how to erase your background. So if I go back to the main Picmonkey page, you're going to want to pick design, and you're going to pick whatever size you want. So here I picked just like a regular generic square, and I just found a selfie of myself. And first, it's a little tedious because I went to photo editor, picked a picture that I wanted to edit. I found myself, and then I cropped out as much of the background as possible. So then you only have to erase a little bit of the background. So this one's a terrible one to pick, but I crop out all the basement, my super, super gross basement, and I crop out as much of that as possible so that I don't have to waste my time erasing it. Okay. Then I would apply that and save this as whatever I want to use, because I'm going to then superimpose this picture onto wherever I'm going to use it. So this one's a nicer picture. So another trick is to zoom in. I'm going to move you guys maybe up here so I can see. So another trick down here in the right corner, you can zoom in. Whoa, it's a lot of zoom. You can zoom in, and then when I go to use the eraser, you can change the eraser size. And then as you start to erase, you can use the zoom to really get the detail. So first I start to take off like all of the bulk before getting in super tight. So take off as much as you can. Don't be worried if you take off your arm, because you can put it back. So if I take off my leg, you can go over and change it from eraser to pen, and then you just come back over and give yourself your leg back. Another trick is to change the harshness. So as I want to get closer, I don't want it to be a rigid line. I want it to be a little bit softer. So if I change the harshness and put it on the eraser, then it's a little bit softer. So it's looking a little bit less rigid. It makes it softer. So if I get a little bit closer, you can't really see your mistakes as much. So if I really want to get close to my head, I'm going to zoom in, click off of it, because then you want to scroll yourself down, go back to the eraser, and then you can get closer. You know, it takes a little bit of playing around, but it's really neat to be able to then take this picture and put it onto different backgrounds. One trick is to not put it on a background that's like a color. So if I went here and I changed my canvas color to something like that, you can see all the white. But if I change it and I upload a background that's less harsh, sorry, I have to move you guys again. And if I change like, let me think, one of my backgrounds. Of course, my computer's frozen. But if you change one of your backgrounds that doesn't have like one rigid color and you instead changed it to something that's a little bit lighter and more variegated or different colors throughout, it won't be as obvious that it's that color. And also trying to, when you're taking your selfies or you have something that you know that you want to erase the background, making sure that you're picking a picture in front of a white wall. You know, you don't want it in front of a wall where it's going to be really, really hard for you to erase your background. So if I just search one of the backgrounds that I have, like this one's a great one. You still see a lot of coaches use this background because it looks cool and you can see like all the different varieties and colors. So now if I want to put this behind myself, it's either right click or control on a mouse on a Mac and then just send it to the back and I pop to the front. So now you can see, instead of it being as harsh as it was with the purple background, when I put this behind it, you can see like on the left side of me, you can really see the difference, but on the right side of me, that background hides so much of the flaws from my erasing. So just when you're searching for things, think about picking backgrounds. Like I'll just search, I was making one for our training site and I wanted a pink and orange background. So just literally searching pink and orange wallpapers or backgrounds and you'll be amazed what comes up. There's a lot on Pinterest, there's a lot just in Google, but trying to pick one that when you're starting out, one that'll definitely hide any of the flaws. Okay, so if I wanted to go through and delete this a little bit more, get a little bit closer. And you can see I keep bumping my arm, but it's okay because the harshness isn't set so strong. One thing when you want to zoom in, like in between the legs, that's a little bit tougher because then you have to make your eraser smaller. And the smaller the eraser, the more strong the lines are. So try to zoom in first. And keep the eraser size as big as you can to save yourself time. And then when you really have to go through and make it smaller, then you can go back and make it smaller. So then I just change the eraser size down. Keep it as big as you can to start. Take out as much as you can. And you can even do this and then go back with the other version and kind of draw your legs back in. Whatever you find works better for you. Okay. One thing that you have to remember that sometimes I get so upset that I forget, you have to change your background to a transparent background. Because if you don't change your background to a transparent background, when you save it, then you just did all of this erasing and it's on a white background. So make sure that you come over here to canvas color and you go transparent background. So then when I save it, I'll be floating instead of being fixed on that white background. So now if I save this, and then I can go and put it somewhere else. I end up having so many Picmonkey tabs open because I end up kind of deleting the background and then coming over here, designing what I want to design, going to this little butterfly to insert my own overlay. I can pick that brick, that whitewash fence that we had talked about before. I can make it the whole size of the square. And then I'm going to go back to choose another overlay, and then I'm going to pick the mock selfie that I just did. And I could put myself in right here with no feet. Okay, so I didn't do a great job erasing everything, but it still looks good because it's on a background that's not so harsh. Then what a lot of, we use this one all the time because this geometric guy right here, you can change the shape, length, or width-wise. So you can go any particular size you want. The squares and the rectangles, they can only become bigger squares or bigger rectangles, but the first one's really nice because you can change it width-wise or you can change it length-wise. Okay. One thing that's a little annoying, when you start layering things all on top of each other, everything becomes a moving part. So if you decide that you really like this combination, if you hit this button right here and hover over it, it combines all of whatever's on that screen right now. Because otherwise, as you keep scrolling over everything, everything's still individual and you end up moving everything around. So if you have the base of your drawing that you really, really like, hit combine and then it won't move. If you decide you hit combine and then you want to go back, you can go back, but it's nice to combine it because then I can come over here and put a square over here, change the color to whatever color I want, and then I can start typing in the words for the promotion or whatever I want to highlight. You can do the same things with different overlays. It's neat to be able to stack different overlays right on top of each other to kind of add more interest. You can duplicate them too. So if I put this guy over that guy and I change this guy's coloring and send it to the back, oh, it's going all the way back. So you can stack things on top of each other to then put the text in front. Whatever you want to highlight. It's just fun to get a little bit creative and make things stand out. And also when you're doing different ads like this, like I framed myself out, I tried to line everything up. So I picked this background, but since I thought it was going to be a little weird me standing on the beach, I put a frame around myself so that it kind of separated it, and then put this box right here and then words separate so you can highlight whatever you want to highlight. Okay, let me see what I missed. There's also different themes that you can pick. There's different textures that you can add when you're just starting out to, like, you don't have a background, you can use one of the pre-selected backgrounds that they have. One thing that's cool is in the frames, you'll see a lot of people do the shape cutouts. So you can see this shape, there's the transparent background all around it. So if I want to highlight a coach or do a shout out and do a recognition, I can have the size, find a selfie of them, go right over their face, do the shape cutout and whatever I want, and then save that. And then I have their face to highlight in a recognition post. You know, if somebody's hosting a call or anything like that, it's nice to be able to just do a shape cutout. And since the whole background's transparent, it'll just save that shape right there. Okay. I also like just adding interest to different pictures, because you can take a pretty boring picture and completely change the feel of it. Let's see if I can find, like we took some pictures on the beach when we were on vacation, and it was a cute picture to begin with, but then you can change, whoa. You guys are getting an inside scoop on everything that's on my computer. Okay, so let's take this one. And then if I go into the background, I can change the exposure, highlight it, make it kind of a washed out look, or I can change the contrast and make it darker. I just thought that looked really cool, and then apply that. And then I can add any filter over it to then add a little bit of blur or kind of a throwback look. So think about layering for more interest. So instead of always, going on different websites like The Berry or Daily Motivation and pulling their pictures, think about pulling pictures of yourself or pictures with your kids, changing it, making it look a little bit more exciting, and then you can add the quote over it, and then it's yourself instead of using just a stock photo. It just seems so much more personal, and it seems a little bit more exciting because we always want to get that scroll stop and have somebody stop and pay attention. So doing something like this, it's a little bit more attractive, so somebody might be more likely to stop on it. And then we can change that. Then if we think the words are going to get lost, you can add this down here. Another feature I love is the fade. So you can fade it out so that you can still see what's going on back there. And then you can add the text right over that. Put it right there. Bump up the size. Change it to white or whatever color that you want it to be. And then it just stands out a little bit more and adds a little bit more interest, because we definitely always want people to stop that scroll. The only thing I think I didn't show you guys was the collage. So you can pick as many pictures as you want for your collage, or you can add them as you go. Pick some old school ones. Oh, I have too many Picmonkeys open. If you have too many tabs open, Picmonkey will reject you, and the little monkey guy up here won't let you add any more pictures. So make sure you don't have too many tabs open. Otherwise, it won't let you add any more pictures. Hopefully the monkey guy believes in it and he's okay with it, and he'll let me add all those pictures. Because then there's different formats you can do. You can do square. You can focus on one particular picture. You can do a box. You can also, this one's a great one for beginning coaches because you can go through and you can do a Facebook cover. So if you are looking to make an impact right from the beginning, you can have your Facebook cover. You can go and you can have your pictures, do your before and after, do your pictures of your family, pick whatever things that you want to focus on, and you can update your Facebook cover photo right from the beginning. And it's a really neat way to kind of launch yourself as your business, because that's one of the first things that you see. When you're making your Facebook cover, think about the fact that the majority of people who are on Facebook are looking at it from a mobile device. So make sure that you're focusing your pictures on kind of the middle that you really want highlighted. And then also like your face is going to cover the left side. Okay. Well, my little dancing monkey guy's not too happy, so he's not letting me add any pictures. Do you guys have questions? I know a lot of people that are on here have been using Picmonkey for a while. Any tricks that you guys like, or any questions that new coaches have that are, have been trying to use Picmonkey and haven't figured it out? Everybody's good? Everybody's got it? Any features that I left out that you guys think might be helpful? All right. Everybody's got it. Any other questions from people? Since we have just another few minutes, I want to give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek of something that I'm working on for the team, because I'm really excited about it, and it's my personal July goal. So I've been working on a team page for our team. So this is going to be a place where our coaches that we sign up, and especially for new coaches that, you know, one of the hardest things is branching out and starting to mentor your own coaches. It can be super intimidating from the beginning. So having them have somewhere they can go. Yes, they'll have the back office where they can go through videos and they can start looking through all that stuff. They can go on YouTube and they can start searching for videos. But it's really hard to figure out what's the good stuff, where should I really focus on my time, especially because most of us, when we're getting into it, are working full time at the same time or trying to raise our kids at the same time. So trying to cut through some of that to make life easier for your coaches when they're first onboarding. So yes, groups are great, but it's also nice to have somewhere where people can go at their own pace. So I'm starting this team page. It's definitely just in the fledgling stages, but I have, you know, welcome to the team. And then what I'm going to put in here, like underneath challenge groups, like I did a free clean eating group. So instead of just having it on Facebook, I would never recommend like sending one of your challengers to this page, but you can copy, you know, the photo that I made for the Facebook cover. And then I went through, and each of these posts is like an individual day. You know, I did the first day was like challenge rules. And this was to sign up to have me as their free account, free coach. So then the next day was like clean eating principles. And then the next day was how to shop the perimeter. The next day was talking about low, you know, non-fat and fat-free trap. Then the next day was talking about soda versus water and all the benefits of water. So each of these were individual days in a clean eating group that we ran. So I just combined it all in one place so it's separate, so that instead of when you sign up a coach being like, oh yeah, you know, Laura did a clean eating group 6 months ago, or, you know, Crystal and Kristen did like a shake it off, you know, 3 months ago. So instead of trying to always find out where those groups were, it's nice to kind of get it off of Facebook, because Facebook also can be ever changing. So I'd rather not be at the mercy of Facebook. So then other things that I'm planning on putting in here are just, I challenge group post ideas. So if you've been in only a few challenge groups, you know, it'll be a nice place where we can put our best of our best. So I'm going to have 21-day fix posts, folder. I'm going to have just basic challenge group folders. So if there's anything that you guys have that you think is great that you want me to add on to here, please send it to me. I'm also going to have underneath here, so navigating, so this is kind of like Coach Basics, the first few days of Coach Basics. So if you click on here, this is going to take you to the TNT Dynasty manual that I send everybody. If you don't have this, let me know, I can send it to you. But this is the manual where it goes through how to set up your Coach Online office, what team calls, personal development. So this is a manual that, you know, we send out to all new coaches. Let me know if you don't have it and I can send it to you. But that'll be on there, so you can automatically just click on that and save it for your own records. This is talking about finding your coach ID, staying active, what that entails, changing your profile to public, setting up direct deposit. So these are going to be like all the 7-day basics. Do you guys freeze? Oh no. All right. You guys still see me? Some of you froze. Oh. Good? All right. So I went through and I put in like the 7-day basics so that instead of people always having to be in a challenge group, they can be just kind of go through and learn at their own pace. You know, maybe they have a lunchtime to go through everything instead of just trying to check in for 5 minutes every single day. So I'm trying to make this a resource, but if there's anything that you coaches have saved or that you've been using with your own individual teams, please feel free to send it over. You know, it's going to be a locked site so that anyone on just people on our team will have access to it. But I think it's going to be great. I hope it's going to be great. I hope we use it. So any questions about that or any feedback? That's good. That's good. All right, guys. We only have like 2 minutes left, but excited for next week. My idea was to go through the Coach Online office and show people just where different things are in the Coach Online office that you might not know about. If there's anything else that you guys want to talk about, always feel free to send it to me and I'll make that one of our Zoom calls. All right?
Thank you so much, Laura.
You're welcome, Katie.
So, dumb question. Laura, is that like a website or like what is that? I don't even know what this is.
Yeah, right? So it's Squarespace.
So do you like pay for it or what is like?
So I tried so many different ones and Squarespace was like the easiest one. Like everything's drag and drop. You can type right in. There's no like back coding or anything like that. Right. It is awesome. It is.
How do you lock it to only our group being able to see it?
You can password protect the site.
Okay.
I think this is fabulous. I think this is gonna save like us
so much time. Crystal, when I found it, I was like, oh my God. I know. So awesome. I'm so excited about it because I want to, you know, definitely keep doing the groups, but I think like having it in one place and having it where we can all access it and put our best stuff out there. And then it's honestly so easy to duplicate and start creating. Like I don't want to take more than a month working on this. Like it's going to be done by the end of July. And then when we do a new Coach Basics in August, we can have people give this to them so they can train at their own speed.
I love it.
Cool.
That's pretty cool. That's a great idea.
All right, guys. Have a good night. I'll see you guys all soon.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.